All right, we are back with draw 3 of the Shortspiel. Good afternoon, everyone. We will be underway in just a moment. I'm all on my own in the commentary box right now. I'm sad to say. Judy is not here because she's out playing, and Scott, who was here earlier, is also out playing. He'll actually be on the feature sheet, so we'll see him. So in this third draw, we're going to have Scott Dalrymple and Rainey Delaney versus Steve Kaltenbach and Heather Schulke. We'll just see the colors while I update the scoreboard. And it looks like we have Heather and Steve throwing red. So we're underway, and so the first stone goes right to the button. And the reply from Rainey goes top button, a little tap. So as you notice, things move really fast here on Shortspiel, so we got to keep on our toes. Dana asks, do we get country stats for your viewers? Well, I'm sure we do somewhere. I don't have access to them right this second. But yeah, we have. I know we have somebody from Macedonia at least, and India. Oh, it must be late for you guys by now. So thanks very much for tuning in. So let's see. Corner freeze was taken by the red, which I quite like, and not sure what shot is being attempted here by Scott. Might just be a draw, and not a bad result. But now I think a little promote is available for Heather and Steve. Red onto yellow, just tap the yellow back. And I think that's what they're going to try. Let's see. Well, did come in with a little weight. Not the tap back I was thinking of, but it did move things around. Yellow is still shot, but very vulnerable. And so here's Rainey Delaney preparing to throw. Here, and just discussing with Scott the shot. So it looks like they're going to play on that red that's in the forefoot through the port. Oh, and you possibly couldn't see on your screen there, but the line started off good and actually just curled. So even on this, even in this short distance that's throwing, the curl is important. Craig Marquardt is joining us here on the chat from India, where it's 3 in the morning. Well, thanks for joining us, Craig. Yeah, that's quite impressive, I must say. We will try to keep this as entertaining as possible for you. So a pretty congested house here. And it's currently 1 yellow. And this is the final stone coming now. And I'm trying to do a little raised tap into the button area. And, oh, very nicely done from Scott. A great throw. So that's 2 yellow in the first end. Nicely done. Scott here was just in the commentary booth in the last draw. And he shared his thoughts on the strategy with us. And seems like he's got a good game plan for a Shortspiel. Said they were doing a bit of practice beforehand, so might be a team to look out for as the afternoon progresses. And a good start. And throwing a stone into the top 8, sort of centerline guard. Because that's so high, I think we'll see Heather draw around this. Yeah, and they do, but not really getting behind the guard, so quite open. I wonder there, we were discussing this earlier, I wonder there whether it might be worth just going to the side, so like in the side of the 8-foot circle, keep it sort of open in that situation because the guard was so long. But no. So now a second stone buried behind the yellow guard, and it looks like a shot stone now, so now Steve will try to create some angle here. Nice little tap. I think yellow is still sitting shot here. So interesting situation for Rainey and Scott. I think they might consider freezing to their own rock. That would be a very good result, but looks like they're trying to make a play on those reds. So just to remind you of a few of the rules, 6 end games, 4 rocks each per end. No takeouts of your opponent's stones. You could remove your own stones if you had to. We haven't really seen any of that yet. And meanwhile, Rainey's throw there. Tapping red up for shot. Not sure that's quite what they were looking for. Red now sitting 2. I think that was a little bit of an error. And we have seen in Shortspiel, you see that it can change very quickly. One team seems in control, but then all of a sudden it turns around. So let's see what happens. Still a chance here to come in at an angle. You could play a sort of like very light double on those 2 reds, perhaps. We'll see what they do. A little bit of weight thrown, but well, interesting play. No, just slipped a little too far. I think he was deliberately going in off his own stone, but just slipped a little bit too far, and a chance for 3 here for Steve Kaltenbach. Just got to find the right angle. And nicely done. Great shot, 3 points. Could be a high-scoring encounter. So we have 6 games going on right now. Each draw, there's 6 games. And it moves very fast. The full game only takes 20, 25 minutes. So we really have to keep on our toes. It's hard for us to keep you up to date on all the other games just because the action is so quick. So we're going to concentrate on this one. And once again, we see that top 8 stone. That's becoming a real theme of this Shortspiel so far. Without the hammer, he's throwing it into the top 8. It does seem like all the teams have decided that's the best strategy. And Rainey throwing a lot of weight at this. Needs to sit down, and it will. So very nice. A little bit perilous, but managed to move the red all the way to the back 12. So red will just draw top 4. I think we'll see an angle tap here from Scott. This reminds me in some ways of mixed doubles curling, where you can't do takeouts at the beginning, and so what you see is a lot of attempts to control the top of the house, and So what you really want is your stones top 4, top 8. And if your stones are back 4, back 8, that's bad news. Oh, a lot of weight thrown there by Rainey, but makes it work. Nice throw. And a ton of weight thrown there by Steve. Try and shift those yellows around. Manages to get the yellow sort of back button, but a chance for at least 2, possibly 3 if there's a way to move that red. The only way I can see to do that is by playing the raise on the top yellow. Which is a bit difficult. Could just draw for an easy 2. I think that's what I would do, but could certainly play a raise. So we'll see. From this, the way he's stretching out the side here, I think it's just the draw. And, oh, little tap, nope, not quite, so just one yellow. Not sure whether that was the draw or the tap attempt there, but either way. So it's a tie game going at the halfway point. Oh, so that yellow rock just sitting at the back 12 biting, so perilously close to being out of play. But a pretty good situation here for yellow with a corner freeze right now, which they're about to make a play on. Could sit 2 after this. Oh, but a little bit too much weight thrown, I think, this time. No. Wow. Once again, just sitting on the edge of the back 12. Rainey pulling a face at the commentary box here. They were a bit worried about that, but nicely done. And that takes a lot of skill to throw that precise weight with just your arm, just to keep things around the back 12 area. And Red just shifting stones around there, but not really helping themselves with that one. Red does have the hammer, but I think they're going to be faced with opportunity for just one. So interestingly, a guard thrown there by Scott and Rainey, which I like that call, because the obvious shot for the opposition was the tap up on the red. So now taking that away, and forcing this hit just to give up one, which they will. So nicely played end there from Scott and Rainey. Steal of one. All right, it's the penultimate end already. Goodness, these things go fast. Here's Rainey throwing. It looks like it's going to be a little deep. Well, top four, pretty good. I remember Scott saying before the game that he thought a good spot for the first stone was just in the top four. That's exactly where that ended up. Scott Dalrymple. Looking for a little tap back. This is a pretty nice setup already for Rainey and Scott, with the two rocks staggered in sort of top of the house area. I think we'll see Steve try and move those around a bit, or may try and draw around them, but I'm not sure I like that. Even if you get the draw, you're going to leave a very short raise, which I think is exactly what's happened. So I expect to see a little raise here played by Rainey. Push that red out sideways. Or you may be able to get at it directly, actually, from the other side, if you can stretch enough. I might get some company here in the commentary box. Always welcome guest commentary here during the short spiel. Oh my goodness, meanwhile, Rainey is really stretching like crazy. I don't think I could do that to get this angle for this takeout. I think, honestly, the raise on the other side might be easier than this. But, wow. Oh, this one definitely must be too hard. No, yes, no, yeah, oh, well. It looks out on the camera, but no, it's out. So just a little too strong from Rainey. Pretty good effort, though. And I don't think they put that stone back quite where it was, but close enough. I think it has moved a little bit, but both teams seem fairly happy, so we'll just let them get on with it. So now sitting 2 red here with 1 rock. No, excuse me. There's 2 yellow rocks still to come. No, there aren't, beg your pardon. I miscounted because one of them was removed from play. Just 1 yellow remaining and then 1 red stone. And so it looks like a direct hit and roll attempt here for Scott. But he's just going to nose it. But that's not bad. Looks like you only give up 2. And it looks like straight draw for, well, difficult to make the draw actually. Gotta be pretty flexible to get past that yellow. So pretty good play there. Really cutting off access to the button area. So not sure what I would be playing. Can't really hit the yellows because you're not going to get second shot. So we'll see what the call is here. Steve, his last throw. Looks like he's planning some kind of hit, but I don't think he's going to get second shot out of it. Oh goodness, well, threw a lot of weight, and yeah. Just think he wasn't sure what to do there. Didn't change anything. It's still going to be 1 red. And so we have a tied game here going into the final end. Another close game. Scott just gesturing to me. 4-4 is the scoreline. Going to the last end. Heather Shoka starting with a, oh wow, she did throw it very high there. So we talked about this earlier, whether anyone would throw to the very top 12. And talking to Scott earlier, saying that he thinks that's just a little too high, so easy to get around it, which is exactly what they just did. And I think he must be right, because you can stretch so easily to the sides and get around a rock that's that high. Seems like the ideal position is sort of top 8, biting 4. And so Steve went right around everything there to the button, but I think that should be easily accessible either through a raise or just directly. See what Scott prefers. Looks like he's going for the raise. No, maybe. No, yeah, a bit discussion, but yeah, I think so. Nice gentle tap weight throw in there. Just move the red just enough. Yep, nice throw. It just curled a bit on the way down there offline. And I think that's something that the player is probably still getting used to, the fact that it's still going to curl, even if you're only throwing it 8 feet. It might be enough to throw the line off from what you wanted. So here's Heather. Going for, well, played it with some weight. Pretty nicely done. Didn't get shot, but sitting 2 and 3. But I think we'll see, well, I don't know what we'll see here. Scott thinking to maybe just go top button, so that if you hit it, you won't be shot. And this one also curling. Not a bad position. Sort of blocks access to the button. And just leaves a tap up for red. And even if you make the tap up, you've got a raise available. So nice, good thinking there, I think. So just 1 stone left here for Steve and Heather. Got to figure out a way to get shot and make it difficult to be removed. Looks like the only shot really available is the raise on the red that's just above the 4 foot. Don't see any other real way to get there. Looks like that's the plan. And it looks pretty good. Will he get shot? I don't know. It's close. I don't know if he did. Well, they're not sure. They're having a look. If he didn't, it's game over. If he did, it's a really great shot. But even if he did, the raise is very easy to remove that.
No, we called for it, but we never got it. We just used we cheated and used the real device.
Well, they're talking about measuring it. They are going to measure it, which is interesting because in normal curling you can't measure during an end. So don't know whether this is actually within the rules or not. And I think maybe they're deciding that they can't measure it right now. That would be consistent with regular curling, so that makes sense, I think. You don't stop to measure in the middle of an end. Well, the only exception to that would be the free guard zone. If you thought something was biting, you could have that measured. But looks like they're just going to have to eyeball it. I think either way, your shot is probably the same, which is to play that raise. Well, if they're not sure, they have to assume that it's shot, I think. But you can definitely move that out to the back 8 area. Meanwhile, Judy has returned from her first game. She's just gesturing to me that unfortunately they came in second place. But meanwhile, nicely done raise by Scott there. Made the shot. They weren't sure whether they were shot or not, so he played it the right way, which is assuming that they weren't, and he made the raise. So a nice win, and I think we'll be seeing a bit more of them as this short spiel progresses. They look pretty sharp with the strategy, but they've got it a bit figured out. And there's only one more game remaining in this draw. We'll be finishing momentarily. Another close game there. Seen a lot of those. See it turn around quickly. That one was close all the way. So we're going to try and get some guest commentary into the box for the next draw. Some people who've been on the ice to share their ideas about it. All right, so that's the end of this draw. We're going to be back in just a few minutes, as always, with the next one. So stay tuned. And we will see you in a few minutes.